Welcome to the Peak Performance and Peak Satisfaction podcast with Master Executive Coach Sherry Gregoff. Sherry helps business people perform better, get rewarded handsomely, and actually enjoy their work. After having her own career turnaround, she now helps other high-powered business professionals experience the same. Join the movement to work differently.
Welcome to the podcast. It's great to have you here. If you have ever been held back from doing what you want to do because you don't feel motivated, this episode is for you. Feeling inspired is a hurdle that you can overcome today. When we let feelings rule the day, we end up regretting our decisions and our actions. I explain how to clarify your drive such that feeling motivated is no longer required. Before we jump in, I want to shout out one of my clients who had a win in this area. Here's the quote from him. Sherry helped me remember that my clear drive for a new job meant that every step towards it was good and productive. Together, we quieted my fears so I could move forward in the interview process. This client wanted a new job. As he started to get called for interviews, his mind went into overdrive on all the ways things could go wrong. Instead of doing the prep work ahead of his first interview, his brain spun out in all the what-ifs instead. This left him feeling panicky and not his best as the interview approached. It wasn't a lack of motivation to prepare for the interview that had him procrastinating on that task. It was his drive getting overridden by fear. His brain was defaulting to cataloging every worst-case scenario. What if he botched the initial interview? What if he didn't get called back? What if he did get called back and it was going to be a lengthy, time-intensive process? What if he didn't perform in the technical interview? What if preparation for the technical interviews took over his weekends and forced him to break his summer plans? What if he landed the job and then failed in it? What if he took the job and burned out keeping up with the demands? What if he took the job and in an effort to not burn out, underperformed? What if he took the job and the company went under? My client was self-aware enough to spot the exact downward spiral in his thoughts as the real culprit keeping him from preparing for and showing up his best to an interview. In our coaching session, after clarifying his drive, he knew without a doubt that a new role was the right next move for him in every way. Next, we set his mind to find all the ways it could go right, and if the outcome was not what he wanted, how he would have his own back and extract value from the process to be successful next time. This exercise cleared the way for him to move forward towards what he really wanted, aligned with his drive to find a new job. This is exactly what he would turn back to anytime fear bubbled up again, so he would take the next step anyway. Similar victories are shared by all of my clients, and I have experienced it too in my own career turnaround. So let's hop to today's podcast content and get you on your way to experiencing this also. Every time we are thinking of making a change, whether that's working differently or switching our schedule or adopting a new fitness routine as examples, there are two forces at work: drive and fear. I want the promotion, but I fear having the direct conversation with my manager. I want to get a new job, but I fear rejection in the interview process. I want to build my strength, but I fear the way forcing myself into daily training will feel. I've heard this saying that there's doing what we say, and then there's excuses. As we know, with resistance in our brain, it's not always that simple. There can be compelling subconscious arguments against going for what we want that keep us stuck right where we are doing the same old routines. We may sense this, for example, when we attempt to start waking up earlier to intentionally spend time on our fitness or on strategic work before the day gets away from us. It sounds like a great idea the day before, But then, in the moment when that alarm clock goes off, our brain puts up quite the fight to stay under covers and snooze. We may characterize it as not feeling motivated, not being motivated to do that thing we said we wanted to do. I think this is a not so useful assessment of the situation that we can drop today. Motivation tends to blow with the wind. We can talk a big game about something we want to do in the future, but taking a step towards it now is another thing. The barrier to getting going is not a motivation problem. We might point to self-discipline next. I used to say for years that I struggled with self-discipline. In the moment, I wouldn't honor my word or my commitment, but instead would choose the easy way. When we point to self-discipline as the problem, we are making an assumption that all we do has to be white-knuckled on sheer willpower to force ourselves to do the thing, like a drill sergeant. This isn't sustainable either. We may tell ourselves that we need an externally dictated deadline to discipline ourselves into action. That's a disempowering belief that you can shut down with what I'm about to arm you with. There is an endless source of inspiration for our human brain, and that is getting crystal clear on our drive, what we want and why. When the drive is compelling enough, motivation as a feeling in the moment is optional. Self-discipline isn't required because there's no internal battle to be had. As you clarify your drive, you may realize it's actually not that important to you. It might have been someone else's goal or a should that has been haunting you. For example, I have clients in the final chapters of their careers who feel they should be taking a bigger role or working harder to leave a legacy. Upon closer inspection, they realize that's an expectation they have outgrown. They might decide on a different drive in this season of their career. To add value in their career, sure, but to prioritize their relationships or health over a career advancement. It's so critical to examine your drive and ensure it's truly what you want, not to impress someone else or because it's what others are doing. A drive based on feeling you should isn't authentic and will only result in a sense of regret or resentment. It breeds procrastination and negative self-talk. This is a process. A tightly held goal isn't easily discarded, but when you identify that drive that is authentic and important to you, and you love all the reasons for it, that is incredibly powerful. It's what overrides any level of feeling unmotivated or requiring self-discipline to move. A clear and compelling drive has us wanting to do the thing and feeling good as we do it. Every step of progress creates more momentum. Our level of self-belief and self-efficacy grows. We start seeing our identity as someone who, when they commit, they are all in, and the results are massive. I would offer that this positive cycle, it's habit-forming, even addicting. Consider whether you have seen it anywhere in your work and life already. Maybe you excel in your work consistently. You have a high level of confidence in your growing success. You rack up public accolades and promotions, and the flywheel keeps spinning. When you think of this domain, your drive is clear, and your identity is someone who just makes it happen, walks the talk, and it feels great. This same excellence can be directly translatable into your fitness game, for example. Take those same beliefs about what is possible for you when you have a clear drive and apply it to another goal for yourself, such as your fitness. Maybe you are excelling as a parent, fully tuned into your kids, helping them become independent and self-sustaining, talking about the big important things. showing them unconditional love and consistently providing a system under which they can be successful or learn from their mistakes. It's not always easy, but it's a priority for you, and so you keep leveling up with each challenge a new age brings. This self-efficacy can be directly translatable into your work and leading your team. The beliefs you have about how you take the lead in your household and of your family unit can be extended to how you lead in the office and grow your people at work. Maybe you are excelling in caring for your wellness, gym time for your body, but also meditation and coaching for your mind. You see how every habit has benefits in your physical, emotional, and spiritual health. This is a lifestyle, not a fad, and you feel your best taking excellent care of yourself. This success can be directly translatable into all your other roles. Just like you carefully invest in your wellness, you can invest in building your leadership skills at the office or maintaining constructive habits in your relationships that increase connection. I share these 3 examples across career, relationships, and wellness because if you see that one area is currently your strength, you can borrow from it and build parallel best practices in the other 2. At the core of your success in any area is believing that the drive you have in that area serves you well, doesn't lead you astray, and has created the exact results that you want. This opens the door to follow this same formula in another area of your life. When we clarify our drive and love our reasons for that drive, plus we see where we already have momentum in capitalizing on our drive with strong results, there is the last piece to sort out then: fear. With this clear drive that is authentic to us, fear will pop up, however subconsciously. We put a stake in the ground, and then here it comes. It can be so convincing and loud. Just like my client win from the start of this episode, it can show up as a flood of doubts. Here's one way to tame it. Let's say you let the fear win in this instance. Fear talks you out of interviewing for that next job, or out of working out to improve your fitness, or out of skipping the work event to make your child's event. Do you like that result? Call the bluff on your fear and get crystal clear on where listening to it will land you. The best case is where you are already. The more likely scenario is worse than where you are now. Worse work situation, worse wellness, worse connection with the people you love. So rather than waiting for a wave of motivation or mustering self-discipline, consider what embracing the fear will get you. If that result is really uncomfortable or really depressing, you've got your answer on what choice to make, which action to take, what to believe about who you are, and what you do. You can thank that fear for truly showing you the alternative to following your drive. That alternate ending will likely make it crystal clear the choice you want to take right now, in this moment, to follow your drive. In my coach training, I learned a really powerful exercise to step into a visualization of where that alternate path will lead when the fear wins out. Having done this exercise myself and coached multiple clients through it too, it creates a visceral experience that can rock you to your core. It is the hardest wake-up call to cut the fear and go for the outcome that you really want. It's one of the most shocking techniques that I have experienced and guided others through. That visualization will repel you from taking the path based on fear thereafter. So lean into your drive to create the result that you truly want instead. Write down your drive as your big reason why you make the choices you do. Write down the result that will come from the fear winning out. Revisit this whenever the fear bubbles up. Decide not to let fear, as an unhelpful emotion or feeling, rule your fate. Fleeting emotions don't have to be in the driver's seat for you. When your authentic drive is what rules the day, you will feel so aligned and purposeful that each step and habit advancing your drive will be something you want to do. Any resistance is discarded as fear just trying to trip us up. It doesn't get airtime, and it doesn't make decisions. We are always going for and creating what we want. The drive that we vetted as being truly ours, our unique definition of success in our careers, relationships, and health. That is our drive that we are always ready to stand for. Here's an exercise that you can do right now to take a situation where you feel stalled progress and follow your drive. First, consider, what is an area where you are procrastinating or feel frozen in making progress? I will use my fitness journey as a familiar and common challenge to illustrate this example. It's a visceral one that many can relate to, but trust this exercise works just the same on our career and relationship goals as well. I've been procrastinating on my movement goals and feeling frozen on optimizing my nutrition. What is your ideal outcome? My ideal outcome is that I am stronger, with more energy and endurance. Why is it important? I want to live with full capability to be active and keep up with my family, doing the activities we love for longer. Is it critically important to you as your drive? I recognize that my health is my number one priority, yes, because without it, everything else in my life crumbles. This is a non-negotiable for me. Do you love your reasons for this drive? I love my reasons, that I want to show up my best and most capable for the people and activities in my life. This is my own reason, having zero shoulds about what others are doing or superficial reasons that feel meaningless. When in the moment, how does fear show up to take you off track? What's the doubts that keep you from moving forward? If I have a goal, go for it, and fail at it, it will feel demoralizing, and I will feel out of control on my fitness. I also have a fear of discomfort or depriving myself or being harsh on myself from a place of self-loathing, negative self-talk about being lazy or gluttonous. Where will succumbing to the fear land you? What will be the outcome? Guaranteed failure from talking myself out of trying for my goals. The outcome would be declining health, limited mobility, limited endurance for the physical activities I like to do, more susceptible to serious illness, shortened lifespan. How would you feel about the outcome? Disappointed in myself, scared for my future health issues to come, regret that I didn't prioritize doing the simple, common sense lifestyle habits to maintain my health. Where will embracing the drive lead you? What will be the outcome? I will feel strong and energetic, eager to do different activities alone and with the people I love. Achieving the fitness goals that I want will make me feel powerful and accomplished. How would you feel about the outcome? Proud and confident, curious about what other goals I can take a similar approach with next. What decision can you make and what action could you take right now to embrace your drive? I am deciding that I want to move my body to keep and grow my mobility and strength because it feels good while I do it and long afterwards. I will take the action to move daily and eat for nutrition because it feels good during it and long afterwards. Why do you want to make this choice? Urges to stay comfortable in the moment in old habits will just pull me farther away from my drive, followed by regret and disappointment. By taking action aligned with my drive, I will instead feel integrity, alignment, and empowered. How do you feel when you honor your drive, even when there's fear? Powerful, aligned, clear, strong, intentional, proactive, determined, resilient, committed. What do you believe about yourself that you didn't before? I have followed my drive in many areas to great success. Fitness has been one of those areas, and that applies to right now too. I've done this before, and I'm doing it again. This time for life. In what other areas will this benefit you? My business and my relationships will benefit from my improved health and from my honoring my drive as a habit there too. That exercise of powerful questions helps our brains get on board with the game plan to follow our drive. It appeals both logically and emotionally. This key step is so critical. Many clients come to me saying, I know this makes logical sense to make this decision and take this action, but in the moment, I don't. Something bigger holds me back. They describe it as rationally understanding the plan, but being unable to carry it out, like their heart isn't in it, or they can't internalize it. I know exactly what they mean. Maybe you can relate too. What we experience in this situation is that our logical brain understands the rationale, our conscious mind agrees with the drive, but our emotional brain hasn't caught up. For aligning every decision and action with your drive, it takes developing the skill to actively manage your mind, to rewire your subconscious. This process is a practice. The more you do it, the more accessible it is on demand. I coach my clients through this process in every area of their work and life. A client may tell me, I want to advance my career, but asking for constructive feedback is uncomfortable and I fear rejection. Even if they know the logical next step, without getting fully on board with their drive and being armed to quiet the fear, they will stay stuck. A client may tell me, I want to revamp how my family interacts and spends our free time, but resetting expectations seems difficult and I fear their reactions. Even if they know what needs to change for more connection and healthier habits, without getting their mind fully on board with their drive and being armed to quiet the fear, they will stay in the same pattern in their relationships. A client may tell me, I want to prioritize my health again and take excellent care of myself, but finding the time seems impossible, and I fear failure at work and in my relationships will result. Even if they know the regimen and lifestyle habits to take, without getting fully on board with their drive and being armed to quiet the fear, they will keep putting their health last. We may have thought it's due to fleeting motivation or lack of self-discipline. Now we know better the root cause and how to overcome it. Drive wins over fear every time when there is total clarity and the skill mastery of managing our mindset, our emotional brain, and our subconscious. This is one of the most precious gifts that I give my clients through our coaching. Self-efficacy, the belief in one's own ability to succeed in specific situations or to accomplish a task. It enables us to create the work and life experience that we absolutely love. Now, I have many listeners who tell me they listen to an episode multiple times so they can take notes. I'm offering free downloads to save you the trouble and give you a clear action to apply what I've taught whenever I can. Subscribe to my weekly newsletter for instant access to every download, an email with the key points from each weekly episode, and the link to my weekly podcast and weekly blog right in your inbox. Don't ever miss an insight or tool again. If you would like to do the exercise that I took you through in today's episode using that fitness example, click on the first link in the show notes for instant access to my free download. Give it a whirl and hit reply to let me know what you found and what you'll do next. Don't wait until you feel motivated to take the next step forward towards your big goal. Don't wait until you feel ready even. You can give yourself a green light right now by deciding that step forward is what you want, because your drive for that result is critical. You can shift your identity and decide this is just who you are and what you do. You can shift your priorities and decide this is important to you for a specific and significant reason. You can lean into your drive by deciding that you want to do this, and so you do. You can schedule your priorities and then prioritize your schedule and honor it in the moment, no matter the emotions that arise. We can combat decision fatigue by trusting what we decided before and just following the schedule. Finding purpose in your drive will make the process pleasant and fulfilling. Until next time.
Looking for support in applying the principles and strategies in today's episode? Sherry coaches clients one-on-one as their trusted confidant and advisor, helping each client create the work and life they had only dreamed of. To schedule your complimentary career strategy session, go to sherrygregoff.com/apply to book time with her today. It's one simple step that can change everything.